Hi Arrows, I'm Kashan and today I'll be reviewing the Six of Crows duology, Six of Crows, and Cricket Kingdom. Yes, this is a spoiler-free review. The majority of this video, if not all of it, will not feature any spoilers. So this is a duology that was released last year and wrapped up this year. It features 2 books by Leigh Bardugo that take place in the Grishaverse. If you're unfamiliar with the Grishaverse, Leigh Bardugo has another trilogy called the Shadow and Bone trilogy that set up the premise for this fantastical world that's much like Russia, and it has these people that are called the Grisha, who are each born with one magical gift, being able to control people's pulses or anything heart related, whether it be the ability to control water, the ability to create things and fabricate things and manipulate metals, all types of different things. But that just kind of gives you a background if you haven't read the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Now, the main premise for the first book, Six of Crows, is that there is a heist that someone is paying to take place. They need someone to do this job for them. One of the main characters, who is a morally gray character, gets together this ragtag group of 6 individuals and they go on this journey trying to do this impossible heist. You kind of see how the drama and everything unfolds from there. But let's first talk about the characters. I feel like Leigh Bardugo, one of her top strong points as a writer is her ability to write dynamic and really fleshed out characters. Even if it's not particularly a character that you like, all of her characters are very distinctive. They stay with you. You understand them. You understand what their beliefs are, their personalities, everything. So you get a full view of all of the characters. Since this book features 6 main characters, there are 6 perspectives, which at first left me kind of weary because I kind of thought that I wouldn't be as invested in the story with so many different character perspectives. But they're all so intertwined. It's literally like getting to see different people's perspective from the same friend group. All of these characters are so different. They have different personalities, they represent different things, and they all have their own personal struggles. So a larger part of finding out, okay, are they going to be able to pull off this heist, is also finding out, okay, is this character going to be able to do XYZ? There are a lot of subplots within the plot, but everything comes together so beautifully. As far as the setting, it takes place in Ketterdam, and Ketterdam is supposed to be this city that has all of this grit, gambling houses and love houses and things like that. It's supposed to have an area that's really rough, which is where the majority of these characters reside. And then there's this other part of the city where it is super wealthy. It is like one of the trade capitals of the world. Those characters and those people are very business oriented, and they have a lot of the wealth in this fantastical world. Those 2 aspects in this one society clash. You get to see a lot of different classism and how much really the 2 are really alike. As far as the storyline goes, this plot is fast-paced. It is easy to follow. It keeps you wrapped up, and there are also a lot of things in here that happen that I did not expect. I was expecting to like this book going into it just because people had told me good things about it. It really kept me on the edge of my seat, and I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. This takes place a little bit after the heist story. There are some things that happen in the last book that you kind of have to see, okay, how are those things going to be resolved in this book? You get to see some of the repercussions of certain actions and some of the effects of certain sacrifices and things like that. I was a little bit worried going into this book just because I enjoyed Six of Crows so much. I really wasn't sure if I was going to be able to like Cricket Kingdom just as much. Out of the 2, Six of Crows is definitely my favorite. I still would give Cricket Kingdom a really high rating. You got to know the characters even more in this story, and you got to see some of those issues and backstories resolved and fleshed out. There are a few characters that we get to meet in this book that I really enjoyed. There is a character that fights with one of the main female characters in this book. The character is supposed to be a villain. I don't know what it is, but Leigh Bardugo always writes a villain that I like. Like, I would love a short story or some type of story from that character's perspective that kind of just pops up in this book. The main thing that I really loved about this story is that you really get to see the leader of this group, Kaz Brecker, how his mastermind and plotting works. He's always the one outsmarting the system. He's always the one outwitting people who are trying to get over on them or get ahead of them, and you really just get to see him rise up and him overcome a lot of these issues that he's had, but you also get to see the realistic aspects of easier said than done. I didn't feel like anything was convenient. Everything made sense. It was realistic, but it was still fulfilling. There's something that does happen towards the end of the story, and that to me was very satisfying just because it kept it realistic. I gave this one 4.25 stars. The reason I didn't give it a full 5 stars is because I had a harder time getting through this one than I did the first one. I didn't have enough time to really sit with the story and absorb it. I just kept having to read it and then going back to it and then reading and then going back to it and then reading and then going back to it. So overall, this duology is a 4.5 stars. Do I recommend this duology? Yes, I do. If you haven't read the Grisha trilogy, I would recommend reading that first, because although Six of Crows is not that spoilery, there are some very spoilery things in Cricket Kingdom. So if you haven't read the Grisha trilogy, I definitely recommend reading that before you get your hands on these two. If you have any other questions for me, leave them down in the comment section below. And what other books are y'all interested in having me review? Please leave that in the comment section below as well. Don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter at theBookArcher. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!